some of the energy waves that come from the sun are visible to our eyes, and we call them light rays. Ordinarily, these rays give us the impression of white light. Sometimes they are broken up into many different wavelengths, colored light. By passing white light through a prism into colors that we call the visible spectrum. Of these light colors, red, orange, green, and blue-violet are primary colors. We shall use this three-dimensional model to show how these primary light colors combine as we project one color from each of the lamps opposite the three sides of the model. A light will be beamed from each lamp, and a colored gelatin will be placed between the light and the three-dimensional model. We see that the light strikes one side and the triangular top surface. We begin with a light primary, red-orange. Mixed with green, it makes a yellow equal to the combined strength of the two primaries. Red-orange and blue-violet combine into red-purple, another secondary light color. And green, mixed with blue-violet, makes the secondary color turquoise or blue-green. When the three light primaries are combined, they make white, which has a strength equal to the sum of all three primaries. We find, therefore, that each secondary light color has a strength equal to the sum of its two primaries, and that white is as strong as the combined strength of the three primaries. But pigment mixtures are subtractive rather than additive. Pigments reflect certain light rays to give us our color sensations. Red, yellow, and blue are the three pigment primaries. The pigments used here consist of a transparent liquid medium and solid particles which are contained in it. We now represent these yellow pigment particles as rectangles, highly magnified. And we simulate primary and secondary light rays striking these particles, which reflect only the yellow rays. And since the particles are haphazardly arranged, they do not even reflect all the yellow rays. Furthermore, when, for example, we mix red and yellow pigments to make orange, we do not increase the number of reflecting particles. Instead, the total number in a given area remains the same, but is now divided between red and yellow reflectors. In pigment mixtures, therefore, we do not have the additive color strength obtained by mixing primary light beams. To compensate for these weaknesses of pigments, we have to resort to color keying. Keyed color starts from the theory that all our visual impressions are relative. The man in the center here, for example, appears to be a dwarf. But without changing his size, we can now make him appear to be a giant. Our impression of him is conditioned by his surroundings. Again, this woodsman doesn't seem particularly cold, although the temperature is 35 degrees below zero. And yet, this butcher coming into his refrigerator might feel cold, although in a temperature of 35 degrees above zero. A common way of keying pigment colors is to associate opposite or complementary colors with each other. The complementaries are commonly placed in opposite areas on the familiar color wheel. We can key a tan color to make it seem warmer by enclosing it in its complementary color. A frame of color somewhat similar to tan makes it look colder and darker. We can even key white. Here are two circles on a white background. We key the circled area at the left by surrounding it with black. It now looks much lighter than the circled area at the right. This girl's hair looks light when we see her between two dark-haired girls. But if her companions are light blondes, the girl in the center will now impress us as having dark hair. If an artist, in painting a picture of this butcher, wants to create a feeling of refrigerator cold, he might do it by increasing the intensity of his colors, contrasting the warm yellows of the beef with the butcher's cool blue shirt. Such may have been the intention of Abraham Ratner when he painted this somewhat similar subject. Yellow is complementary to purple, and therefore heightens the dark purple color of the pyramid at the left as compared to the pyramid at the right. Since only the immediate surroundings key a color, we can restrict the yellow to the immediate neighborhood of the pyramid, and we see that it still seems a darker, more intense purple than the one on the right. Rockwell Kent uses such keying in his painting Winter, owned by the Metropolitan Museum of Art. The faint yellow in the sky adjacent to the Blue Mountain emphasizes the coldness of the scene. Color keying also has many applications to the art of makeup. This girl, for example, wants her gray-blue eyes to appear more blue. So she is applying a complementary orange suntan makeup. An outdoor suntan would do the same, but is usually harder to acquire. She chooses a dark shade of lipstick because its darkness will make her teeth seem whiter. Thus, in makeup, colors are emphasized when used with their complementaries. They can be emphasized in another way, by echoing the color. The light blue dress echoes the blue of the eyes. Now she adds a touch of stronger blue at a little distance. The observer will look back and forth, and the stronger color will persuade him that even gray-blue eyes are really blue. A green dress will key reddish hair and make it seem more red. A spot of even brighter red will further enhance the hair by echoing its color. Here is a portrait painted by Phoebe Florey Walker to demonstrate that if a subject has a naturally sallow complexion, a reddish background will only emphasize this pallor. When, however, we remove the reddish background and substitute for it a greenish one, we find that the complexion appears more normal. Keying can be applied to pigment mixtures. For example, violet is a mixture of red and blue. To make it look more red, we surround it with green, the complementary of the red component of violet. By framing it in orange, the opposite of the blue component of violet, we make it appear more blue. We can also key secondary colors by subtraction. We frame the violet at the left with blue, and that on the right with red. The blue frame subtracts blue from the violet, leaving the spot more reddish. The red frame subtracts red from the violet, making it appear more blue. Both keyed and echoed color are used in interior decoration. A rug or an upholstered chair can repeat a color picked up from a picture and can echo it, or the entire room may be planned as a background for the hostess who will occupy it. Keying color, we have seen, is vital to the art of the painter. It can be used to advantage in improving personal appearance. And it adds charm to home decoration. Thus, keyed color contributes contrast and brilliance to many phases of our existence.